Russian occupiers are resorting to unprecedented security measures at the Crimean Bridge. Even electric vehicles are banned from entering. Ukrainian Navy spokesman Dmitry Pletenchuk announced this during a telethon broadcast. Security measures there have now reached the point where electric or hybrid vehicles are prohibited from entering the bridge because Russian intelligence agencies fear they could be used for another special operation on our part. Trucks are also being considered. The question arises, what's the point of it if trucks are not allowed, new cars are not allowed? Trains carrying tankers, fuel, or heavy equipment are also prohibited. Pletenchuk notes, as a result, the military man adds, illegal tourists and certain private vehicles can use the bridge. Thus, according to Pletenchuk, the Crimean Bridge's function is symbolic, acting as an imperial marker. Closing the bridge for security reasons has already become a regular practice for the occupiers, and it is difficult to say that they might resort to any new actions there, a Navy representative clarified. He added that Russian aircraft are based in Crimea and are harassing Ukraine. This is a problem. The constant presence of dozens of aircraft over the Black Sea, which enables them to carry out a significant number of missions, turns the Black Sea, where Russian ships are virtually absent, into a large grey zone. According to Pletenchuk, the enemy has intensified the use of operational tactical aviation for strikes against Ukraine. This happens quite infrequently, but nevertheless, they never did this before. In total, there are at least 5 military airfields in Crimea. These are the ones they use. Some of them are no longer as active after previous strikes by the Ukrainian armed forces, said a representative of the Ukrainian Navy. According to him, enemy aircraft are in the air virtually around the clock. These are primarily drones. The closer to the Ukrainian coast, the more often you see some kind of reconnaissance drone, operational tactical aircraft, and the like. They're basically using anything that can fly. Helicopters, old airplanes. As for the ship and boat complement, the only boats we're seeing are those stationed at the entrances to the bays, where they conduct counter-sabotage and mine countermeasures, Pletenchuk explained. As a reminder, the Telegram channel Krymsky Vita reported that Russian occupiers in temporarily occupied Crimea continue to instill barriers to block the Kerch Strait and protect themselves from Ukrainian naval drones. The report stated that the hedgehog barriers are being sunk into the sea under the shipping arches of the Kerch Bridge. This is how the Russians narrow the fairway. The Russians began sinking the hedgehog-shaped barriers in the strait in September 2024. Hundreds of these structures, large and small, have already been sunk. Therefore, only Russian military ships and boats, as well as pilot vessels with maps of underwater obstacles, are allowed to navigate near the bridge. The Telegram channel writes, earlier on the Crimean Peninsula, Ukrainian Special Operations Forces disabled key logistics facilities supporting Russian military units. Apparently, this involved an attack on the Urozhainaya railway station.
A woman who survived convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's abuse says she has a mix of emotions after President Trump signed the bill requiring the Justice Department to release all files and communications related to the case. According to Associated Press, Marina Lacerda said she's happy and worried as the Epstein case moves forward. Originally from Brazil, Lacerda met Epstein when she was 14 in 2002 when she was offered a job. The abuse began soon after. Her abuse was included in the 2019 indictment against Epstein. Lacerda says the release of the files is part of her healing process and she wants the names of the men who abused girls to be made public. But she is worried that the files have been tampered with by the Trump administration. Trump could have chosen to release many of the files on his own months ago. The bill requires the Justice Department to release all files and communications related to Epstein, as well as any information about the investigation into his death in a federal prison in 2019, within 30 days. It allows for redactions about Epstein's victims for ongoing federal investigations, but DOJ cannot withhold information due to embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity.
I am feeling so happy, so thrilled, but also very worried about these files being released. But mainly, we are feeling right now very, very happy about the files being released. These files mean to me personally that it will bring bring myself some answers to what has happened to me in the past in Jeffrey Epstein's home. And it will also bring, it's part of my healing process to understand what has happened to me. And the answers that we are looking in those files are for the rich and the empowered men that are behind this and have not been, nobody has been, speaking about them, which Trump has been protecting them, and, other people that we do not know about, and because other survivors have not came out and spoken about them. So it is very important for myself and for the public to find out who these people are so that we can bring them to justice. We have mixed feelings because Trump didn't want to, expose these files at one point. And then just out of nowhere, he was like, release the files, and he signed it, and it was like, whoa, while we were at the vigil, it was like, whoa, we were not expecting there. We were there for a candlelight service, and we were thrilled. We were like, in the heat of the moment, we were like, wow, this is like everything that we've been fighting for. And then we had to take a moment and be like, wait a minute, why is he releasing the files all of a sudden?
Care about it, released or not. What I think you should do, if you're going to do it, then you have to.
Has he tampered with them? He shut down the government for so long. Was that a distraction for all of us not to pay attention to what he was really working on behind the scenes? So that is why I say that we are worried. When we want the Epstein files to come out, we want it to be transparent. We want it to be the truth, right? It's what everybody's been fighting for. We want all the files to come out, redacted with the victim's name, and not the powerful men